really interesting. Wow. Yeah, really interesting how he considered the fold so heavily because people just under bluff in these $400 tournaments. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, what are his bluffs? You know, like if we really think about it, like sure, ace high, like ace high has some showdown value if you had ace five, and when he raises the turn with maybe some backdoor diamond draw or something like that, and he actually gets called in on this kind of board. Like, what hands do you have that you're folding?
And it's gonna have some misdraws and things too. So I think calling is the only option myself. Let's see if Boogaloo got away from it. Ooh, call is 6.
So this is close between call.
Really interesting. So call is 6, raise is 7,500 is 10 points. And I'm going to say he said that because this is a very bad player. And so he thinks the very bad player is going to stack off here with worse queens a lot. I'm going to guarantee that's what he's going to say. Very interesting, though. I thought call for sure was the right answer. I never am in this spot. I don't know. Interesting spot, too. I think this is a little bit of a lesson for everyone out there, too. A lot of times, the hands we want to float with, like this one, are better as raises. So this kind of falls in that category.
Yeah, and he was kind of an echo chamber for us there, saying, you know, we just get better hands to call and worse to fold. Yep. Like, he's going to have some gut shots in his range. He's going to have spade draw. He's going to have king X. And we kind of know, I mean, we kind of identify kind of what cards are going to be bad for us on future streets. And we're aware how to proceed on those cards.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's a very good point, man. You right.
That was the best. You didn't say anything. You won. Just straight up.
You won. I'm just
Alright, so ooh, look at this. You're not opening this. You just looked at this. You're not opening.
Button cut off, hijack, low jack, under the gun one. You are.
Come on now. I am. So let's see if he.
He's got to open it, or there wouldn't be a hand.
It would
I'm
be a
already down on points.
You're already down on points in real life. Now, obviously, you're gonna cheat, but
I'm gonna evolve.
you're gonna adapt, right?
All right, let's play it.
I'm going to cry if he says he's folding here. Like, if he's like, yeah, you should be folding this in this kind of tournament, and you were actually right. All right, cool.
Wah, wah.
Ah!
Yes!
And the reason is because Queen.
I just want to say for the record that this is the best 3-point score I've ever gotten in my life. Because the right answer was fold.
The right. But you heard what he said about the tables. This is a 3K.
Here comes the excuses. 10
The
points
excuses
fold.
to
It
open
says right
if your
here.
table is particularly tight and weak. Welcome to the $5 2K world. I mean, you know, the $11 10K. I'm opening this, yeah, for sure.
This is the best 3 points of my life.
Oh, that's hilarious. And everybody's 50.
nailed it. What the hell kind of play is that from King Queen? Who in the who does that?
Who the hell? Yeah, so my dog.
Jonathan Little's an absolute crusher, so it's nice to have him.
Yeah, I agree, and I
He's
always
just
love
coaching.
playing right after sessions like this because I feel like my brain's warmed up. I'm thinking through things, and so it's a good way to start your session for sure.
All right, guys, this is it.
What's up, Mike? You want to give a gist? He was saying Narco Cop was playing about D-pipping about 28% of hands. He had been very aggressive in this $10 buy-in, and here are the options to fold, to call, to raise to 1,200, raise to... What? Wait a minute, he made it 800, and my man's giving options for 12 and 1,400. So it's already getting kind of spicy. That's so nasty. To be on a site with these other crushers, you know, well-known poker public figures is pretty exciting, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I didn't mention that when I was kind of giving a little intro here too. You know, Assassinato, Matt Affleck, John Little, all coaches on the site, so very highly respectable, quality poker content.
Yep, Evan Jarvis as well. You know, remember Evan Jarvis, Matt Affleck, Assassinato, John Little.
Yeah, so I guess that just makes sense. He just have the ace of clubs in his hand. That's interesting, though. I
How
thought
many
that was
points you got?
interesting.
You didn't do that bad. 45.
I like how you just pat me on the back. You didn't do that bad. Well, yeah, good job, buddy. Like,
The back.
I remember I got the higher score in the first one. So, you know, we're 1 for 1, buddy.
I just want to know.
Calling, guys. Let's see if we're good.
Similar situation. That's pre-flop? I think the pre.
All right, guys, we're checking, I guess. Oh, for fuck's sake.
One of the things I see people when it comes to poker is when people get to the turn and there's an opportunity.
When you're facing a min raise or just a touch more than a min raise, and there's an ante in play, which is going to be the case in most tournaments, I think, going forward, you want to defend pretty wide. If your opponent's making a 2.
All right, cool. You're going 1,400.
I'm going 1,400, guys.
I'm gonna go call with the honor. Just see what happens.
All right, and
I would fold in game though, for the record, in case that's for winning it.
You won. You win. I have to concede. You win.
14K.
14K, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Well, no, we don't win. This is a pretty rough spot because damn it.
Mm-hmm. Where do you gonna get my chat? They like naughty things. They like just beer, alcohol, you know.
All right, let's do I can do a $10 ACR giveaway.
$10 ACR giveaway courtesy of my man Toe. For me beating that ass heads up in this. Sorry. No, I'm kidding. We'll do this. We'll have to do it at least once a week, man. And then, you know, we'll do it. We'll do it every week a couple times.
So it's a tie.
I guess we got to give out $10 to each other's communities. We'll just do our own $10 free roll for each. Or does that sound fair?
Yes. Do you know what this means?
You win. I give his chat $10. Take it.
So that's cool
Filthy
because we have
animal.
2 ties and then a win from you and a win from me. This is like the epic battle. It's perfect. It's great.
Yeah, we're even Stevens.
This is awesome.
Take it.
I love it.
You know,
Stop. We got a giveaway going. Let's run the giveaway for the $10 ACR winner. Closing the giveaway. Drawing the winner. My man Sebs are getting the $10 ACR giveaway for this one. Damn, I was so busy getting shit together and scrambling for being late. I didn't even realize the damn intro video was over. Looks like you're only waiting for a couple seconds there in the dark. What up, guys? We're here for the study stream. Sorry I was a couple minutes late. Had a meeting that ran over that I had to take care of. And we're here. Six is bailed. He's got some family stuff. It's the holidays, you know. He ain't a savage like us. He's this much less savage. You can clip that. But so it's just going to be me today. We're going to take these quizzes, poker coaching study stream, exclamation point PC in the chat for you to get a link to sign up for free to pokercoaching.com. It's Jonathan Little's website. I create content on there. Six is great content on there. There's a wealth of great coaches on there. Evan Jarvis, Matt Affleck, Assassinato, Jonathan Little, Lexa Gavin, Tristan Wade, Jonathan Jaffe, Acevedo, Ryan O'Donnell, all that available too. There is quizzes and classes. The classes are webinars that go on weekly. There's multiple webinars a week where you can get close like 30 or 40 people and get one-on-one time with these coaches, and ask questions, build relationships, get better. They're awesome. And there's courses. The new Cash Game Masterclass came out last week. They have Tournament Masterclass. They have a Fundamentals Masterclass. These things are great. Six is only the sidekick anyway. True. Absolutely. And yeah, all that available to on the site, exclamation.pc to get that on. Also, the poker coaching Discord is bumping, where you can post hands. We do another study stream on Discord specifically on Thursdays at noon Eastern. So that's available to you, plus giveaways every week. We gave away $1,000 a couple days ago. We've given away hoodies and hats and patches and $50 here or there, poker coaching memberships, all that available to you. Get in the poker coaching Discord, exclamation.pc Discord for that. Sweet Aces, Dennis, J Bills, Beats, Julius, Drugs, Stinky. Who else did I miss? Cyrus, Matt, Bluff You Not, Jerome. What up, guys? All right, so this is what we're gonna do. Since it's just us, we're keeping it personal. Poker coaching in the chat, all one word, poker coaching, and you will be entered for the drawing. If you've never been here, this is how this is gonna work. I'm gonna draw 2 winners, and I am going to have you guys compete in one of these quizzes you see on the screen. We'll pick a random quiz, and then I will ask you what each of our contestants are going to do. We'll see what the audience will do. I'll tell you what I would do. We'll see what the coach on the video would do. And whoever gets the highest score between the 2 contestants wins $5. That's how it's going to roll. I see the poker coachings coming in. Let me make sure you guys are registering. You are. And we're good. We're good. How was your Thanksgiving, guys? I always love to play on the holidays on some level. We didn't actually play on Thanksgiving night, which I usually play early and try and get done early enough to where I spend time with the family. But I didn't do it this year. I chilled, but did play yesterday. Holidays where I make all my money, man. Play on Thanksgiving before things kick off. New Year's Day and New Year's Eve before. You know, you go out and party. Gold. Everyone's home. Everyone's drunk. Like, I make my year, like October to December. It's always gold. Kind of stoked OSS on ACR coming up right during this holiday period, too, which is dope. All right. Well, all right. What up, Stinky? How you doing? Could really use 1K right now, says Julius. Got to get in the giveaway. Can't win if you're not there. It was a free $1,000. Real cash money. Okay, it wasn't cash money. It was PayPal money, but it still counts. All right, let's draw these winners. Let's get this party started here. Scroll. Winner number 1. Oh, wait. We're going to have to clear off some desk space here. Get my pad and paper so Beats can make fun of me. Winner number 1 is a Viv. Speaking of poker coaching legends, congratulations, Viv. Viv going against Mr. Dennis. All right, so we'll keep Viv up on the screen here, and I'll have Dennis off to the side, and I'll let you know what your scores are as we go. It's a little hard to do this when it's just one because when I'm logged in on the same account, when I answer on one quiz, it automatically answers on the other browser. I can't have them both going, so we'll figure that out. Sweet Aces says, tell a lot to be thankful for. Grandson Roland was home after being in the hospital for 2 weeks. Grandson Roland, Sweet Aces, did you change your name? Are you incognito? I think you changed your name. I think you're sneaking in on me. All right, let's do this. What quiz should we take? Let's scroll down and take some of these down bottom. There it is. Thought you can sneak in on me, huh? All right, let's see here. I almost want to take this. It's a cash quiz. Yeah, fuck it. We don't get enough Brad Wilson in our lives. He's a really smart guy. Let's get some Brad Wilson in our lives. What quiz did I pick? Shit. 1401. 1401. Cash game quiz is good too because it'll help you with your deep stack game and tournaments. So it all applies. And, you know, good poker is just good fucking poker. I knew that was you, Tina. The second you said Roland, I knew that was you. All right, guys, let's roll this quiz. Good luck, Viv. Good luck, Dennis. Let's do it.
What is happening, Captain? I hope you are doing well. Coach Brad here. I wanted to let you know that my first webinar cash game learning
Oh, here comes the shill.
is live. I would highly suggest that you watch the replay so that all of my
Let me know if you can hear an echo.
webinars make sense, because my plan is to execute them in a linear fashion. Here we have aces, six-handed. We have a little bit of depth. We open at 2.5x. The reg,
It's kind of quiet.
in the small blind, goes ahead and 3-bets us to 22. The big blind
Really?
folds, and now it is our action.
Oh, shit, my bad.
Want to call, or do you
Sorry,
want
that was
to
my bad.
4-bet to 55 doll hairs?
All right. We got issues. While you guys do this, hopefully this doesn't break my screen. I'm not guaranteeing. It might break the stream. What are we doing here? Aces. Shit. We get raised, re-raised. Everyone's just 4-betting, right? Do we need to go down the rabbit hole here? This is pretty easy, so I'm trying to get the sound fixed with my headphones so there's no echo for you. One thing I thought was funny about Brad is, like I said, like, he's a nice guy. But he's one of those guys that's, like, super smart, so he always kind of sounds nerdy, for lack of a better word. So he didn't say, like, what's happening, Captain? He said, what's happening, Captain? And I just thought that was kind of funny. That was what I took from that video. All right, we're all raising, right? Raise. All right, let's do it. Hopefully this works. No, it doesn't. I knew this was going to break my shit. Hang on. Hang on. Now I can hear it and you can't. Damn headset. Let's try that. Work.
We are battling
There we
a
go.
reg. We decide to
Oh, wait. Let's start this again. Because he said some more nerdiness.
Oakley Dokley. Since we are battling a reg, we decide to 4-bet to $55 with our aces. The reg in the small blind calls, and now we're going to head to a flop. We get this beauty,
Ooh, weird
King of
one.
Hearts, Queen of Clubs, Jack of Hearts. Our opponent has $205 behind. We have 167. So effective stacks are 167. There's 61 big blinds, or $122 in the middle. Our opponent checks. And now, what should you do? Should you check behind on this triple Broadway board? Should you start out by betting 1/4 of the pot, or should you start out by betting 1/3 of the pot? Let me know.
Oakley Dokley. Ned Flanders in the house. Can we get closed captions so we don't have to listen to this? What? This is gold. What are you talking about? We warned you. 40 for Stinky right out the gate. 1/3 pot, which is 40. 40 for Tina. 40 for Hollywood. 40 for Dennis. Forty. Want to check? Want to check. Jerome wants to check so bad he did it twice. 40. Check for Matt. Check for drugs. Did Viv come out here yet? Viv, if you can do me a favor. I don't see the two, but when you do answer, if you can at GodsBigToe, it'll pop out on my side, and it's easier to see. Bet 1/3. I see you. There you are. 40. This is interesting. This is a re-raised pot. I know that we tend to size up on these boards. I was thinking like 40 actually seems a little small, to be honest with you. I didn't answer either way there, Jug, because I knew you were going to yell at me, and then I got it. I got it regardless. I purposely said re-raised.
I honestly think like in game I would size up even more. The problem with this board is like I'm not. Well, I mean ace 10 suited definitely out there, but we blocked the shit out of that. But there's a lot of 2 pairs and sets. A lot. But like my instinct would be to go like 70. So I guess I'm going 40. I'm going 40 with the rest of you guys. Let's find out. Let me get this together. Cool. 40 it is. I think both you guys went 40.
All right, I did something I don't love doing. I kind of set you up for failure here because this is kind of a gross spot, right? Like we have aces, king, queen, jack, 2 heart board. This likely hits villains 4 betting flat
like
range very
stack.
hard. Aces is not the top of our range here on this board. So you got 5 points for checking, 5 points for betting 1/4, and 7 points for betting 1/3. Kind of hard to go wrong no matter what option you choose. None of them are slam dunks by any stretch of the imagination. So you go ahead and you bet 1/3 the size of the pot. And now villain is going to shove. And I don't know what the deal was with this quiz, but it wasn't allowing me to give an option here for the hero. But your option is to call or fold. Let me know which decision you think is appropriate here. We have $127. There's 367 in the pot. So getting 3-1 with a call with aces.
How do you fold here? I have thoughts. I'm going to hold them until you guys give me some answers here. Dennis snap called. He didn't have to think about it. It wasn't hard for him. Tina calling, Hollywood calling. Grossness indeed. Matt and I were just talking about these types of spots in poker. Don't lose your head. Cyrus calling. Rebuy, says Bates. Fuck it. He's too rich to care. Call him. No, I'm losing. Well, I mean, if you know you're losing, this is the difference between, like being a really big winning player or not, right? Like, not necessarily folding in this exact spot, but just making the big folds that other people aren't, right? Sticky says folding, but like I said, that shit hit his range hard. I'm calling. I'm folding, but like he said, that shit hit his range hard as fuck. But I'm calling all day. Shit happens. Plus, we got some outs. So, Stinky said he was calling and folding in the same sentence. Backgammon could be profitable. Yeah, ask Gus Hansen. Oh, shit. Oh, I went there. Folding, says Pot Liquor. I'm still waiting for Viv, I believe. Tubbs says, I hate math, and then call. Call, but fold if the bet was bigger. Yeah, the problem is he's all in, right? Interesting. Good Lord. The problem here is, like, we beat Ace King. We beat Heart Draw. We beat, like, Queen 10 of Hearts, right? They still have some Ace King, but we blocked the shit out of it. I hate the spot too, Drugs. God, I want to fold, but I don't think he's going to. But God, I want to. But holy hell, does this 4-bet range just smack? Schmack. Pocket 10s don't do this. It's a tough one, man. I'm playing below my bankroll, so this taken as a loss, says Jerome. I find that funny. Yeah, I guess we call. Like, it's pretty hard not to. 200 NL. It's the fucking cheap stakes. Fuck. This sucks. All right, let's call. Let's find out.
So villain does end up shoving, and then we call. You get 10 points for calling here, 0 points for folding. like I said on the earlier street, we're getting 3-1 here with our aces. Even though it's not an amazing spot for us, we only need to have 25% equity to continue. If villain ever has the ace queen of hearts, notice we don't have the ace of hearts here, which is pretty important factor in this hand because villain can have suited ace x of hearts that they flat the 4-bet with from the small blind, and then they can have ace queen of hearts. They can also have pocket tens. And if they have pocket tens or ace x of hearts, ace queen of hearts with any frequency, we will have enough equity to continue. We do have a gut shot, and we have 2 aces that are most likely live because villain isn't going to be flopping a ton of straights right here. So in a spot where we could be making a small mistake by calling too frequently versus a large mistake by folding and villain showing up with, maybe some jack 10 suited, pocket tens, ace queen of hearts, we always opt to call where you're most likely making a smaller mistake versus a larger mistake. And we can see the bad news. We did run into a set of queens, and they get the clean run out here of a deuce and a 5 and win the pot. However, it's not always about whether you win or lose the pot. It's about the decision making on the flop. And right here, I believe that this flop is a call. Very, very hard to fold. You need to be right at a ridiculously high frequency in order to comfortably fold.
There you go. So, I hate Matt. Just got to take your lumps sometimes. Lose the aces. I mean, there's a high likelihood it was cracked on this board, right, Jay Bills? But yeah, absolutely. There's nothing we can. It all depends on how he shoves it. If he's like super confident, you find the fold. Interesting. All right, we got tens across the board. Play aces, push them, go broke. That was easy. Where's my coin flip? All right, Dennis, you're up. Call it heads or tails. That's the ugliest 25% I ever seen. It's true, right? Super true. This was a cash game, pot liquor. We started off with deep stack with Brad Wilson because we love us some nerdy Brad Wilson. Call it, Dennis. Heads or tails? Go broke on the worst board you could get. It's true, drugs. It really is. Tails, I see you. All right, let's flip it. And bang! Dennis. Winning flips. Viv, good game. So wished it. But lost the flip in the end. Just like poker, right? It's the same. It's the same. All right, we're going to keep this easy because that was a quick one. We'll keep it as poker coaching. So if you didn't put poker coaching in the chat, put it in the chat while I pick another quiz. And we'll run it from the same guys as last time, plus anyone who's been added. What's the flip for SEC? So what happens is I draw 2 winners. They compete in the quiz against each other. Whoever gets the highest score wins $5. And if it's a tie, we coin flip for who gets the $5. So that's what happened. All right, I see you guys coming in there. What quiz should we do now? Let's mix it up. Let's go down here. 2 is the bottom. Sassiano talks too much. Here we go. We'll do Evan Jarvis in his Falls View run. 14-11. Ready. Ready. Give you guys a couple of seconds here to get in there. And we're going to draw a winner. If I happen to draw basically Viv or Dennis, I'll redraw. Give other people a chance here on this one, since they competed in the last one. All right. Here we go. Ooh, winner number 1. Bang! Hey, it's Tina. Fresh off the new screen name, ready to put it to work. And Tina competing against, hey, there you go, STC. Ask and you shall receive, my friend. I had nothing to do with it. It's random draw. All right, so what we'll do is we'll keep STC score up here. We'll keep Tina off screen here, and I'll be keeping track. Shocker. It's weird how that works, right? Drugs, that shit always happens. It's the weirdest thing. Anyways, we'll keep Tina off screen here. We'll give our newest guy, STC, a moment of glory. So STC, the basic thing is you got a couple seconds to think about it, obviously, but try and answer as fast as you can because we're live and no delay. And when you answer, if you can at GodsBigToe and then your answer, that would help me because it'll pop up in the chat easier for me to see. All right, let's run this quiz and see what we'll do.
Hello everyone, Evan Jarvis here for PokerCoaching.com. Today we are reviewing a tournament hand from the $2,500 buy-in WPT Fallsview that I played earlier this year in me. Run in. We have pocket twos on the button and some nice reads on about half of the table at this point. Under the gun, who we don't have a read on, opens for 1,200. A passive splasher calls in mid position, as does Marlin. And now it's on to us on the button. What should you do with pocket deuces? Never loses. Should you fold?
Damn, you
call,
beat me to it.
rebet to 3,000, or squeeze it up to 4,200.
Bet. Call. We're 56 bigs deep. And the deuces never loses. You got that equity going for you. What's the play here? So far, all I see is calls. STC with the call. Stinky with the call. J-Bills with the call. Tina with the call. Everybody call. Does anybody fold this on, like, any frequency? Nobody folds. Just call. I ain't gonna lie, like, call but expect to get set over set? No. To a bigger range, J-Bill is folding. Yeah, but we're not gonna see too many bigger opens, right? It's gonna be 1,500. At which point, if he goes 1,500, we're still getting the right price to set mine. Two is one of those hands though, where like, God, it's like a 2 or nothing on the flop. I ain't gonna lie and say that I don't fold here on some frequency. I definitely call here on some frequency too. That would be my answer. I mean, I don't think folding is a terrible thing when there's this many people in the pot. And we have twos. Like, I'm probably never folding fours. Twos and threes, like, All right, let's call and find out.
In this situation, there really only is one play. That play, calling. Deuces do not have any favorable properties for 3-betting. They don't block our opponent's continuing range. In fact, they unblock it and increase the chances that our opponents have good hands.
Kind of agree, Tina.
It's too strong of a hand to fold. This is a hand we want to play multi-way in position and see if we can flop a set.
Like Evan says, though.
3-betting just opens up the door to potentially getting 4-bet by the hands that we want to take a flop against. Aces, kings, queens, ace, king. Calling is far and above the best play in this spot. It basically is the only play with your small pocket pairs in this situation. Small blind calls as well, big blind calls as well. We have ourselves a nice juicy pot coming together.
Juices never
even
loses.
Juicier flop comes down. King of spades, 4 of diamonds, deuce of diamonds, giving us bottom set. Little sizzle. Get a 4K continuation bet from the opener and a flat from Marlin. Action is on you. What should you do? Should you fold, call, raise to 10,000, or move all in?
Now what? Now what do we do? STC coming in with the call. What up, Chris? How you doing, brother? Tina, raise a daisy to 10K. 10K for Jerome as well. Don't like those diamonds, 10K, says J Bills. A little cheeky raise. Cyrus is jamming. So is Matt. Protect the shit out of that, he says. Call him, dump those stacks, says Stinky. Oh, this is where STC and Tina gonna part ways. One calling, one raising. Wouldn't want to raise that high, but was the only answer was close. What would you normally raise there, Tina? Drug says call because of the pot size bet. Yeah, interesting. Stack size is making this a little weird. About 6K, she says. I don't even know. I don't think you can raise it to 6K there, Tina. It's a 4K bet. I don't think you can only raise 2K more. Am I wrong? This is fiction. There's no such thing as a set of twos. This is interesting. My first gut instinct was to raise as well. But as Drug said, like, normally you would raise this even bigger. Like, normally the raise size would be like 16. You know, normally you'd go 3x plus 1 for the other caller or so. In position. The problem with that is that, like, even if we go 10, if you look at the stack sizes, like, the weird thing about it is that we're deep. So even if they're left with 15K behind, that's still 30 blinds. Super weird. The thing about the raise and the call, which means someone's got a king for sure, and or flush draw. Man, I think with the stack to pot ratio being one, I'm probably calling in this exact scenario, but I want to raise so bad. I want to raise so bad. Jerome, I think, was the one that said protect the shit out of this hand. One thing I want to be kind of clear about on that is that, like, this is a pretty dry board, right? It's king, it's flush draw, and that's it. And they're not always going to have flush draw. And so it's really not very scary. It's a pretty dry board in general. We shouldn't automatically fear. We should be cautious. We shouldn't automatically, like, fear the flush draw, though, right? Someone can easily have king queen and king jack suited or something, king 10 suited or something, king queen and like an underpair jacks or something, tens that felt like they couldn't fold. All right, so STC calling, Tina raising. We're gonna find out. Let's do it. Call 10 points
With the pot size being
Raise 5
as large
points.
as it is, I like a couple of plays here. Moving all in here is about a pot size bet, and we will likely get called by aces, ace king, maybe even king queen. Not necessarily king queen, but if we just chip it in here, our opponents may put us on, you know, the ace 3 of diamonds, ace 5 of diamonds, and be more apt to make a hero call with a top pair type hand. And because of the size of the stacks, it's actually reasonable for us to take the sizing of all in. Raising at 10,000, I think, looks much too strong here. It gives our opponents a fine price to peel as well with draws, and just doesn't really accomplish
Agreed,
what
Matt.
we want
Jam
to.
better than raise.
And then folding is out of the question. Our hand's too strong, but calling is an option I also like, because when we call, we have a pot size bet remaining. We can represent a weaker hand than we have, and if the turn is a brick, our opponents are again more likely to overplay a pair of kings, because we could easily have a flush draw here. So in the moment, I went for the call, but I'm also very much on board with just taking the large sizing of moving all in here, expecting to get
Said I
snap
wanted to bet
called
bigger.
by aces, ace king, and maybe even king queen, as well as pair and diamond draws, which we have in very bad shape, because that's what people do in tournaments. They run the cards when they have top pair. Sets are one of the places we're going to make a lot of money versus those players. Turn is not the best for us. 6 of diamonds, completes 5-3, and completes diamonds as well. Checks to us. Actions on you. What should you do? Should you check, bet 8,000, or go all in?
Never understood what they said about pricing. So that's all about pot odds, right? And so you have to know what your odds are of like hitting your flush. And then if you do the pot odds and they are equal, then they're getting the right price to call. Right? So if you're Drug's gonna kill me on this because this is not my strong suit. But you're getting like 25% to hit your flush, let's say, right? And they're giving you a 1 in 4 shot pot odds wise, then you're priced in to call, basically. And the smaller you go, the more they are supposed to call with their diamond draws. So if they go 4K and you click it to 10, they have to call with the diamond draw. They're getting the right price. But if they go 4K and you jam, now they can arguably fold their diamond draw. 3 or 5 of diamonds would be worse. Agreed. 5, 3 not in the range. Also agreed. All of the ins for STC. $8K for Stanky. Getting check raise here would be Horrid. See the river in position. Jug is arguing check. Jerome arguing 8K. Boot agreeing with Drugs. 8K for Tina. So we got a jam and an 8K. Multiway probably checks his mat. Rip it, says Pete. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with Matt where, like, if we jam here, we're just never getting called by worse. Right? Like, King, Queen, not definitely folding. Ace, King, and Diamonds. It's like all that we get called by. So I think jamming not the best option when everything gets there. 8K, also interesting. I honestly think I would bet smaller. Somewhere in like the 5K range. Just to not let the single diamonds get there for free, one. And we still get value from single King X hands that way. And we essentially buy the check on the river, right? Like if we bet 5K here, we get called and not raised, then they're likely going to check to the aggressor on the river, and then we can just check back or, evaluate. So that's kind of what I would do. I think 8K is a little big. Yeah, facing draws not always made flushes. That's why I'm saying bet 5K there. Shamkuli. I would fold if someone jams on me on that spot, so I feel that with 5K is good enough for quad. Or full house, yeah. And then we also buy the true river check, right? Which is good. And if we bet here and they jam, I don't think we can fold. Not protecting. No, we're getting value from a worse hand. And we're buying the river check. All good things. Value bet. No, I'm value betting. Jerome says there has to be a value bet here. Meh. Just hit the fold button. Yep. The street buy still on the table? No. No. So that's what I would do. I would bet 5K here myself. And buy the river check. I would bet small. Almost certainly. I'm not letting 2 of them draw. Hell no. All right, STC jamming. I'm pretty sure that was what it was. Let me see. Yep, STC jamming. Tina going 8K. Let's find out. 4 points jam. 10 points 8K.
While flush has become possible, our opponents have 2 diamonds in their hands. There's a decent chance they would bet those flushes on the turn. So they don't have all the flushes, but also if our opponents have King, Queen,
SEC got a 10,
Ace,
a
King,
10,
Ace, Ace with
and a
1
4.
diamond. They have not made their flush
got
yet.
A 10, a 5,
but if we check,
and a 10.
we give them a free chance to improve to the best hand. We have a pot size bet remaining. we have what is going to be the best hand the majority of the time. And that is a very significant pot out there relative to
What
our
up,
stack
Bernice?
size. It's important that we do what we can to protect our equity, give ourselves the best chance to take this pot down. I like an 8,000 chip bet. Gives us the chance to get looked up by King Queen. Doesn't quite give the right price to a flush draw, although it is close. And that's what we do here. All in also, I think it looks a little bit stronger. If we're going to go all in, we should probably do it before the diamonds come in. But this sizing gives us a better chance of getting called by a king. Under the gun folds without much thought. Marlin takes a very long time and then folds, letting us know that he did indeed have king queen, but without a diamond. If we knew both our opponents didn't have a diamond, yes, we can check to get more value from the king on the river. But also, if a diamond comes off on the river, we don't get extra value from those hands. So I picked a size that I thought a king might call, and were it not a diamond on the turn, we probably would have got a lot more action. But you can't always get the perfect situations. All you can do is make the most of the situations that you are dealt. So that's why we made that bet. We end up taking the pot down and increasing our stack nicely, as you usually do when you flop a set. That's going to wrap it up for this quiz. Evan Jarvis for PokerCoaching.com. Hope you learned a thing or two. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.
You get the value from on the river, except you could get the value from them now if you bet the 5. Just saying. Before they get a free card to the diamond. Just saying. He took it down. We don't get to see the river card. He won. Easy game. Easy game. Easy game. Don't pay attention to the scores on the stream because we have conflicting browsers. Like I said, since my partner Sixes is in here today. It was 10, 5, 10 for Tina for a total of 25 points. And 10, 10, 4 for STC for a total of 24 points. STC gets eked out by 1 point. Ay-ya. Congratulations, Tina. I'm assuming you want me to send you your $5 the normal PayPal way that I always send you $5 when you win these things. Let me know if that's different. The diamond is coming either way, except you buy the check and don't get bombed on. All right, cool. Back to quizzes. Back to quizzes. All right, we're going to change the keyword for this one now. New keyword is going to be... Oh, you want an ACR. All right, cool. No problem. The new one is going to be value bet, all one word. Value bet, all one word. I don't know if you're folding out good kings. Your value target, I mean, when there's a bet and a call, their ranges are flush draws and king, right? So it's exactly the target range. For the value bet. Value bluff, that's different. That's much different. According to Grana, that doesn't exist, but we've seen otherwise on my stream. There's the value bets. All right, while you guys are doing that, let's pick another quiz. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Oh, we got another Evan Jarvis Falls you. We've been slacking on the poor Mr. Jarvis. Maybe we should get him back on the stream. It's been a minute since he's been here. I don't know who it is, so it's a teaser for me too. But Six said he's got a guest getting lined up for next week, so there's a little teaser for you. 1424, we'll go with Uncle Matt Affleck. Shit, it's Saturday. Is there a UFC today? Anybody know if there's a UFC today? On a side note. I'm not sure if there is during the holiday. Fuck, now I gotta check. Because you know what I'm doing. After this. Aggregate reports and the UFC. Let's see. Just happened. Up next. When is the date on this? Main card, December 4th. All right, cool. No UFC today. I'll fight someone if not. Oh, shit. Oh, poker players don't lie. They bluff. Big difference. All right, let's draw. Winner number 1. Ba-bang! Shumcooley. Cooley. Oh, and a number 2. I'll fight if they have an 80-pound weight class. I think actually that's too low, right? 125. You have to bulk up there, Bruce. Win number 2 is Bruce. That's so funny. All right, we'll keep Shumcooley up on the screen here. We'll keep Bruce off screen. Run this Matt Affleck quiz. And see what we see. Let's do it.
All right, in this hand, we have a 6 offsuit here in the big blind. It's going to fold to the button who has about 24 big blinds. They're going to min-raise. We have a 6 offsuit and 30 big blinds ourselves. Should we fold, call, re-raise to 2,800, or go all in?
All right, so we got 30 bigs in our stack. It's roughly 25 or so in their stack. Button raise. And we have a 6 off in the big blind. What are we going to do? Call so far in the chat. Should probably use their program. Calls streaming through. Jam! There's a jam. We got one person, Matt on Jam Island all by himself. Raise, says Tina. Is that raise 28 or raise all in, Tina? Everyone else just calling. You can jam if you know the player. So player specific. If you think they're aggressive, you should jam. If you think they're not, you should flat. I'm assuming Cloakerman is what you're saying. Pete says call. 28 for Tina. So Tina on 28 by herself on the island, and Matt on Jam Island by himself. You're in the big blind. Versus raise opponent position button. Flat. I hate ace rag, says Jay Bills. 1 of 3 bets so bad. Pete's hand shaking, staring menacingly at the dealer. Flat for Bruce. All right, so Bruce flatting. Shit, who was it? It was Shumcooley. Did you answer again? I don't think I saw you. Shumcooley. Call. All right, both people calling. This is interesting because we do have some jams in this spot. I'm going to bring over the poker coaching chart here. And you can see, like, I thought ace-6 might be a jam for 25. You can see these bottom aces starting to mix jam a lot. And these better aces mixing jam a lot. This is at 25. If we change this to 20, I think those aces become more jams. Yeah, see? And then ace-6 off is the island. That's the worst ace in the deck. That's funny, but a lot more jams at 20. So these 5 bigs, is it 13? Am I tripping? No, big blind's 4K. They have 8,600 behind. It's like 25 or 30, right? So this is 20. A lot of jams. This is 25. Far less jams. And then this is 30, which even less jams. So according to the coaching charts, this is going to be a flat. But if you jammed it, fuck, I wouldn't hate you. I definitely wouldn't. Do I have 25 blind stacks? Do I have contradictory? Hang on, let me see if I have other. I don't know if we have 25. No, I got 20 and 30. Versus button jamming. Oh, the charts pretty much match. All right, cool. So according to the charts, this is going to be a call. Both our contestants called. Let's run it.
I think calling is pretty clearly the best option here. I think you can make the case that 3-betting to 2,800 as a bluff to 3-bet fold is a reasonable option. I don't like shoving here with ace-6. Ace-6 is really the worst ace we can have. We'd rather have ace-deuce, ace-3, ace-4, or ace-5 with the ability to make a straight. If I had ace-5 offsuit, I'd probably go all in here. And if I had like ace-9 or ace-10 offsuit, I'd probably go all in. But these middle aces, if you just want to call with it, these stack depths. At 20 big blinds, we're going to shove a lot of offsuit aces, but even ace-6 off, we probably just want to call with, again, being the worst ace. We want to have some aces in our calling range to protect us on ace-high boards. So this hand just fits pretty clearly here in our calling range. People just shove or 3-bet too linearly here. We actually want to be pretty polarized here with how we shove from the big blind to make sure we get dominated hands to fold. We want to keep it like, for example, here people shove with king queen all the time, but it's actually better to call because they're never calling us with king jack, and we want to keep in all those king x hands that we dominate. So flop comes ace king queen. Not going to ask here if we should lead here. I think you guys, after doing these quizzes, should know we're never going to have a leading range on this type of a board from the big blind. And we face this third pot, quarter pot type bet here. Should we fold, call, raise to 1,500, or raise to 2,000?
All right, all right, all right. Here we go. Call starting to come in with the top pair. I might have the sim run. That's what I'm looking at right now. Call, 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 call. Now it's dicey. Fold it. You are trolling, Trey. You are trolling. Damn it. I don't quite have this board. I have a two-tone. Bruce calling. Call, 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 call once for sure. Call, 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 call. This is a big bet for the button. It is. I would call, but curious if he raises the answer, Sister Rome. Oh, it's the call, 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 call. I wonder. All right. Wonder if I have it at 20. Button versus BB. I'm trying to see if I have the sim, guys. Raging Owl calling. How is Raging Owl not all in? What the? Now I know we're in the Twilight Zone. Ace, King, Queen. I still only have it versions of two-tone. At 20. Looking up the sib. Looking at the sib. Strategy. Check. Bet 2. All right, cool. So, interesting enough, the sib are both 30 and 20. It's 50-50 mix between raise and call. 50-50 mix on both stack sizes. I thought with top pair on 20 bigs, we can tend to push that. So in all honesty, I would start pushing raise here myself more often than call. But you also got to remember, Cloakman, it's a button open, right? So like, I mean, these are the two widest range in the game, right? So like, this board isn't as scary as it would be if it was like an under the gun open, right? Although 6 is a terrible kicker. It's the worst ace in the deck, you know. So yeah, 50-50 mix. I think everyone called. Let me see. Bruce called. And this is a 10. This is a 10. I believe Shamkuli called too. Cool. Let's do it.
So facing the small bet, we have folding is clearly not an option. We have an interesting decision between raising and calling. I think both options are very, very viable. If we're going to raise, I like raising to the smaller, larger size, 2,000. And the reason is we're going to be much more polarized here. We're not really raising a hand like King X or Queen X here. We're really raising like...
I'm going to pause this for a second. So beats, yeah, definitely value, right? They still have King X, King 10, King Jack, Queen 10, Queen Jack. Those sorts of things. It's definitely a value. Definitely a value.
ace-x and bluffs. Our bluffs are going to come from hands like Jack X and 10X with a backdoor flush draw. So like Jack 7 of diamonds, for example, will get raised sometimes. Jack 5, 10, 8. Those type of hands are going to be where our raises going to come from. If you look for value, we should actually be raising a lot of our ace-x here. This is a flop that the in-position player should be betting very, very aggressively. We have we connect with this board. We're going to have a lot of king X, queen X, but we rejam. We 3-bet a lot of our better ace-x. We don't have queens, kings, or aces. We don't have ace-king. They should be pretty aggressive on this board, and therefore they're going to bet it a lot, and that means they're going to bet hands like king X and even some queen X hands. So we should check raise a lot of our ace-x for value. If you look at a solver here, this is like a 50-50 mix between raising to 2,000 and just calling, but I like calling. And the reason I like calling is because when we raise, our opponent is never supposed to fold a king or a queen that has a backdoor draw. And I think our opponents will just overfold king X and queen X when we check raise. So I actually like check raising more as a bluff and a little less for value here. But both are fine, and you can kind of use your opponent to judge whether you think they will be sticky enough to call, which they should be sticky, or if you think they're just going to overfold, then we should just call. It doesn't make sense to check raise a hand like this for value then. I went for a call this time. I think people are just going to, population is going to overfold to our check raise here, so I'm actually going to be exploitively bluffing more and then not calling more with hands like this. Deuce of clubs. Again, we're never going to lead here, and we face a 60% bet on the turn. Should we fold, call, raise to 4,500, or go all in?
All right. Trace listen, think he has king queen. Got to put him on a range though. Well, king queen definitely in his range. King jack, king 10, jack 10, better ace, right? All in his range, and then he's going to be betting, I think, range on this board against big blind defense. So like literally every hand he opens, I'm pretty sure, which I do have this in for. Yeah, betting range on the flop and big betting, like Matt said. Pretty close to pure. We're only checking 20% of the time. And even all those hands are mixing bet. Queen 10, queen jack, yeah, absolutely cooking, man. Alrighty, here we are. Sticky calling. Al folding. Dennis call. Crest call. Shum Cooley with the call. Look at the call. Not MDR, but MDF. Can't fold top pair on this board. Rip it and rebuy. Blame variance. I like that. I like that a lot. Jerome folding. So a couple of folds, bunch of calls. Bruce calling too. All right, guys. We can't fold. We can't fold. We can't raise. It's just a call. It's just a call. Only tapping with one hand. Ranius, don't tell us what that other hand is doing. We don't want to know. All right, let's go.
So we face this 55-ish% pop bet here. I don't think we have much of a decision with ace-x. Remember what happens pre-flop, all right? We don't have queens, kings, aces, ace, king, ace, queen. We'll have some king, queen. And then on the flop, like, we don't get to fold any aces. We don't get to fold any kings. We don't get to fold any queens. So, like, we need to defend pretty wide here on the turn. Our opponent should be playing pretty aggressive against our capped range. And in that context, I don't think we ever get to fold an ace here. I think it's just a crystal clear call. I don't think we want to raise. We're not bluff catching. There should be some, like, the in-position player should be betting some king jack, king 10, maybe even king 9 here. I think those are all reasonable bets here. They should be betting worse aces that currently
it's fucking Saturday.
Ace 5, ace 4, ace 3. We might chop with by the river, but nothing special here. I think this is a pretty easy spot. 4 clubs on the river. Again, not going to ask. We're just checking. We're never leading into a polarized range. And our opponent shoves. Should we fold or call?
Eight. This motherfucker tripled this shit off. Call. Bruce has quit. Don't know what draws was yet. This fucked up. Call a doctor, he says. Crest doesn't think we can fold, but not Levin live. Shum Cooley with the call. He not scared. Cloakerman was just in this spot. Gonna find out. There were no draws. I mean, there's a handful of draws, right? We talked about them. King 10, Queen 10. King Jack, Queen Jack. Call for Bruce. Both calling. Neither of them scared. Fold next hand, says Jerome. So this is funny, like, I'm probably folding myself. I'm not sure what Matt's going to say here or what Pio is going to do. I also don't know how good this guy is. Because, like, if he's got a pair of fives, he's kind of supposed to take this line. Folded, wish I would have called. My balls went north for a minute. Yeah, you just gotta put it back in place. Might be a fold, I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of close, man. It's kind of close. I would fold in game. Honestly, if Matt says we have to call because of the misdraws and because it's going to take some underpair and go crazy. Considering we're the big blind defense and we didn't 3-bet, I can definitely see it. I can definitely see it. I don't think he's got 3-5, but he might have like pair of fives, pair of threes, and then some of those misdraws. This is a weird one. This is a weird one. Both our contestants call. No, let's find out. And we're going to have a coin flip. So, Shum Cooley, pick it heads or tails while we're listening to this off.
So we get here to the river, and it's important to think of this in terms of a math problem. Our opponent's betting 6,000 into 7,500. Let's make the math really simple. If our opponent bet 7,500 here, they would be betting 7,500 to win 15,000. So we would need to continue with 50% of our range. Now here they're betting a little bit less,
Tails,
so therefore we need to continue with more. Probably like
Swish for both players.
60% of our range here. We can do the math here. Let me pull up a calculator.
Oh, shit. Six
you
has missed
guys.
a moment to see
So
the
our
calculator.
opponent
This is his
betting
dream. He loves the calculator.
35 divided by 13,535, which is the total pot up here. And if we hit enter, so 44%, that's our fold percentage. So that means we need to call 56% of our range here. Now, if you think about on the turn, we're calling hands like King Jack, King 10, Queen Jack, Queen 10. We're going to call some King X, some Queen X hands that, you know, have kickers that don't block their bluffs. Maybe we call like a King 5 type of hand. Sometimes here we have to call a lot. And what I'm getting at here is that if we have to call 55% of our range, that doesn't really include folding any aces here. I would call with ace X here. In theory here, we should be calling, we have to call some non-ace X here, hands here. And you know, we have to call some King X here because we don't have enough aces. We don't have enough two pairs, and our opponent gets the value bet pretty thin here. So yes, I think this is a clear call. The hands that are really close are hands like King 5 and King 6, King Jack, King 10. Those hands are like 0 EV calls, and I'd probably fold those hands because our opponents aren't bluffing enough. But with ace X, we just don't get a fold very much. It's worth a lot more EV than 0, and so I would just click the call button here. This is why we flat pre-flop, so we have some protection with ace X. We have some easy call downs, and I think this is a pretty easy call. Our opponent shows up with the 10-3 of diamonds, which I actually think is a pretty good bluff here.
Block the nuts.
And pretty well played, I think, actually, by him. This is probably his Jack X and 10X hands are some of his better bluffs. And so, yeah.
There you go, guys. There you go. Nice if you had time to go through that exercise as Cloakerman. Yeah, but the thing about it is, like, that's why we work so hard off the table, right? The more you study these things and the more you check out these spots and the more you run them and review the sims and all that kind of stuff, it happens, it's like, becomes unconscious competence is the technical term. And so you are thinking about all these things, but you're thinking of them in a millisecond, you know, as a second nature, right? And that only comes with practice. Practice and work. Practice and work. Practice and work. Not in your range. 10-3 suited, button open. Whoa. We got to talk about that, Matt. Button opens as any 10x, Jack X, Queen X, and Ace X suited. Let's double check the chart, make sure I'm not giving you bad information, but I am goddamn sure. Goddamn sure. And again, like, he's supposed to take pair of threes and kind of take the same line. 10-3, not really that different on this board, right? I am pulling up the charts. In the meantime, new keyword. Oh, we got to do, I think Shamkuli said tails. We'll flip it. There's the flip while I pull up the chart. And it's tails. Shamkuli does it. Bruce. Sad Bruce can't win flips to save his life. Poor Bruce. Hit me up, Shamkuli. Let me know how I can send you $5. PayPal, Skrill, Venmo, Cash App, ACR, Carrier Pigeon. Smoke signal won't really work for sending money. Otherwise, I would give you the smoke signal option. So I'm wrong, actually. According to this chart, 30 bigs on the button, 10-3 suited is just out. I wonder what this is. I'm going to look at some comparative charts real quick. 30 bigs on the button. Yeah, so it's like just out of range there. Matt, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. Congratulations, Shamkuli. ACR Shamkuli. Cool. Do me a favor, Shum. Will you whisper that to me so I don't lose it in the chat? And then at the end of the stream, which will be soon, we're going to do one more quiz. I will send everyone their money. All right. Keyword for the next quiz is God's Big Gobble. All one word. God's Big Gobble. Kick it off on a turkey theme. And while you're doing that, I'm going to pick the quiz. 1430. Make sure those are working. They are. By the way, I love that keyword. I'm seeing it in the chat, and it's making me giggle inside. Bagley coming in. First time viewer. What up? Welcome. Guys, while you guys are doing that, I am going to pick this quiz and shill because that's what they pay me to do. Exclamation point PC in the chat. And you get this link to sign up for free to pokercoaching.com where you get 20 quizzes for free, homework assignments, and big blind charts for 100 blinds or more. If you sign up for the premium, you get, God, there's a gajillion quizzes, almost 1,500 homework assignments every month, webinars multiple times a week with these coaches, one-on-one, small groups. You get to talk to them, build a relationship. Thank you, Shum. And all that kind of stuff. It's good content. And if you can't afford it, no shame in your game. Get the free stuff. Sheesh. It's free. It's good stuff. Also, PC Discord in the chat like that. You can get to the Poker Coaching Discord. We do another study stream. It's a little different than this. The one we do on Thursdays at noon Eastern in Discord is much more high level. We don't do quizzes. We're looking at aggregate reports and runouts, and we're doing lucid sims, and we're going a bit deeper than this. This is kind of more digestible for everybody. So that's in there for you free. You can also post hands that we're always answering. There's giveaways every week. We gave away $1,000 a few days ago. We give away anything from $50 to $1,000. We give away swag, hoodies, shirts, hats, patches, that sort of thing. We give away premium subscriptions. So get into the Poker Coaching Discord as well. If you like this one, you want to see this one from the beginning, you want to see all the ones we've done in the past, usually with my main man, Crazy Sixes, God's Big Pitch, you're right. There's the YouTube link. You can see everyone we've done in the past, usually with my co-host, Crazy Sixes, and then a lot of times with guests. We've had Matt Affleck, we've had Tristan Wade, we've had Evan Jarvis multiple times, we've had Bet on Drew, we've had Chip Don't Die, we've had Fat Train, we've had Greg Raymer, Jesse Sylvia, we've had a ton of guests. We've had Faraz Jaka. So go check all that shit out. Where's Jay Little? He has a family, and we cannot seem to get him on a Saturday. I keep talking to him about, hey, I'll do any day of the week as a special version. So maybe I can get him, but it's hard to get Jonathan on a Saturday. He's got kids, man. He's got kids. We're trying. We've been trying for a while. So we'll see what we can do. All right, guys. 14:30 is going to be the quiz, and it's going to be Jonathan. Yeah, Jocko was great. I mean, the guy's a fucking wizard, right? The guy's a fucking wizard. 1430 for JL. And now we got to draw our 2 winners for the last quiz of the day. It's going to be Mr. Cyrus, old school toe army legend. Legend. Win number 2 is a legend from the global streets, J Bills. All right, we'll keep Cyrus on the screen. We'll keep Bills off screen. Run this quiz. Let's go. Good luck, good luck, good luck, good luck, good luck.
Here we have pocket queens in the hijack seat facing a raise to 1100. Should we fold, call, re-raise to 3,200, or re-raise to 3,800?
All right, guys. Queens. Look at this difference. 3,200 and 3,800. Not a ton of difference. It's kind of weird that he did that. It's like a blind and a half difference. The fuck? My eyes. I'm blind. Hold a manager gag check again. The problem with hold manager is that it doesn't work all the time. But it is much easier to use. Poker tracker, like not user friendly at all, but works 100%. It's kind of one of those things. 38 for Shumkuli. Jerome agrees. Cloakerman agrees. Ranius agrees. Everyone 38 except for Stanky. Stanky going 32. We're deep, deep. Want larger re-raise size, says Ranius. Cress on team 32. 600 difference is odd, J-Bills. I don't think it matters that much, if I'm honest with you. What's the difference? 1.5 bigs. That's the difference. Never had problems. I had problems during OSS specifically, like on ACR Crest, where like it just didn't grab hands for OSS events. I don't know what it is with that. And then I thought OSS tournaments you just couldn't use a HUD for years. Like I just did that way. And it turned out Poker Tracker works just fine. So that's what I switched a few years ago, was because of that, to be honest with you. Everybody going 38. I think we're deep. 38's fine. I think if you went 32, it's not that big a mistake. I think the bet sizes are kind of funky. Who are 2? J-Bills and Cyrus. Let me just go through. Cyrus did 38. Where's Bills? 38. All right, 38 for both. Let's run it.
Really, the only way I would ever consider calling here is if I am very confident that the initial raiser is super tight. This is a spot where you typically want to 3-bet your best hands, and queens is definitely one of your best hands. So let's make it 3,200. I don't think we need to make it 3,800. I realize we are playing kind of deep stacked, but typically when I'm in position, I'm making it about 3 to 2.75x the initial raise. Whereas when I am out of position, that's when I would make it a little bit bigger, like 3,800, maybe even bigger to like 4,300 when we're pretty deep stack like this. But in position, I think 3,200 is very nice. Gets back around to the initial raiser who calls. Flop comes Jack 10-2. Should we check? Bet 2,200.
Good, Radius. I think the size is
bet 4,600, or bet 7,200.
I think bet sizes were a little wackadoo. The difference between the bet size, you should have gone like 4.5x, and then the 32 or 38, whichever one, right? You can't check jam, Al. You're in position. 4,600. Big bet. Big bet from Cloaker. Dennis agrees. What y'all doing? What y'all doing? Damn it, I got the fucking hiccups. 22, small bet for Cyrus. This is where they part ways. Check, says Al. 4,600 here. Guys, give me 1 second. While you guys are doing the answers, I'll be back in 2 seconds. I need some water. I got these fucking hiccups. All right. Pro tip. Have a bathroom and the kitchen near your grind station at all times. It's important. Check. Don't be scared. We're blocking straight draw, says Stanky. 46 Says Tina. Wet board connects to this 46. Yeah, so I agree. We're going to size up on this board. We don't want to size down because this board is super connected. There's lots of back cards. Even a queen. So-so. I mean, not the end of the world, but not that great. Hydrate, homie. Yeah, so, and he's got a ton of draws and stuff. So, like, you definitely want to size up on Jack 10 too. For sure. With a hand like Ace Jack, no club. A pair of queens is going to be one of those hands for sure. So I'm on team 4,600. I think pot's a bit much. I would be on 46 too. Stinky's going to go 22 though. And J Bills went the bigger bet, I believe. Let me just double check my sanity. Bills went 46. Cool. Let's do it. 22 for Cyrus.
This is a neat scenario
Check.
where in a cash game, I think we definitely just want to bet the vast majority of the time. But if you think about the opponent's range, this flop actually
bet
should
big was
nail
9.
his range pretty hard, right?
Right.
He's going to have a lot of hands like jacks and tens, which would definitely call the 3-bet. Maybe even 2s.
I can give
He
him
could
9
have jack
points for the
10
big bet.
suited, for sure. So there certainly are some nut hands available. However, there are also plenty of draws available too, right? So in this spot, since I really don't want to get check raised,
Bet big was
I
the
think
same.
in a tournament setting, playing deep stack, the right play is to just let it go check, check, call a turn bet, call a river bet in
Don't want to get raised.
most scenarios, unless it runs out kind of poorly. That said, I do think betting something
give
like
up,
4,600, just basically betting our best hands in our draws is fine. And I think this hand is at least fine enough to bet. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think we have a weak hand here by any means. But I think if we bet and get raised, it's miserably bad. If we bet and get called, we could still be in marginal shape.
Miserably bad.
So I don't hate checking in this spot. I'm either going to check or I'm going to bet using a relatively big size like 4,600, like I would do with a decently strong polarized range. Typically, you want to be checking.
Betting
more
was 9
marginal
points,
made
though,
hands
Ranius. So
in most scenarios,
likes
right?
Bet
And
or check. Big
this
bet
hand
or
is
check.
definitely a weak premium hand for the most part, but it certainly could fall into the strong marginal category. So I'm cool either way between checking or betting something like 4,600. This time I let it go check, check, though. Turns a 7, and the opponent basically pots it. Oh, boy. Should we fold, call, raise to 22,500, big number, or should we go all in?
All right, so he likes check most. Betting the 4,600 was 9 points, so they're really right there. I would say getting raised here is terrible. I don't know why that would be terrible. It's going to be like Ace King clubs, Jack X, like King Jack club. No, we can't have King Jack club. So King 10 clubs, Queen 10 clubs, stuff like that maybe. Like, I agree. A little bit of monsters under the bed. Checking seems crazy on this board. But like I said, betting 4,600, 9 points. So not a mistake by any stretch of the imagination. Honest, yeah. Titus Rapper not here. Agreed. Agreed. Cyrus calling here. Looking for the Bills. Mr. J Bills. What you gonna do? Ace King suited in his range. Wouldn't he just re-raise that? Would he 4-bet it? Probably. He might flat Ace King off on some frequency. Ace King clubs probably does 4-bet it. We're a gajillion blinds deep. But yeah, I mean, that's fair, I guess. Just call fade the 8-9 of club, says Pete. As played just call, says Crest, but a little shook. Bill's just calling. So Cyrus and Bill's calling. Like, I feel like Jonathan's going to call here because of the way he checked the flop, and now he's turning this hand into a showdown value type of hand. But fuck me if I'm not raising this. To 22. I think I'm going 22. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Jonathan calls here, but because of the way you played the flop. But fuck, man. Like, we sure letting a lot of shit get there for their price. Shit. He's got some 8-9. I don't give a fuck. He's got some Jack 10. I don't give a fuck. And then everything else we beat. Jesus Christ. All right. So, you guys are calling. Let's see what happens.
I alluded to this a little bit earlier where really the plan is to just call turn in this scenario and then call a river bet if he bets again, unless it's just a really bad river, like a 9 or an 8 of clubs, especially. I mean, look, I realize he's potting it. That's pretty unfortunate. The opponent's definitely going to be pretty polarized here. But a lot of players will
It's margin on the flop. It's margin on the turn.
conceivably bet in this scenario with a hand like Ace-Jack or King-Jack, just trying to price out Ace-King and Ace-Queen and King-Queen, right? So we do have the best hand a decent amount of the time here to the point that we can't fold. So we're definitely going to continue. The question is, do we raise? And I would definitely not raise, because if we raise here to either 22,000 or all in, the opponent's just going to play very perfectly, right? I mean, I guess he may get it in with Ace-Jack, but that's about the only hand that I beat that he's going to be happy enough getting it in with. And obviously, he could have us beat here with Jacks, 10s, 2s. He could also have 7s. He could also have 9-8 suited, right? There's not just plenty of hands the opponent could have to the point that I cannot realistically raise this hand. So this is a call, but it's going to get dicey on some rivers. This is a reasonable river.
Very good.
Opponent checks. If he bet, by the way,
Just call.
I would just call. I'm not gonna say it's impossible for the guy to have Ace King here. He could also have random King 9 that decides to bluff. He could have 9-8 that decides to value bet turn plus river. So if he does bet river, I'm just gonna call. But now when he checks, we have to decide if we should value bet or just check it back. So should we check, bet 8,000, bet 16,000,
Let me show you the bet sizes.
or bet 24,000?
All right, here we go. Checker bet. 80%. So that's like the 16. Oh, you're raising this 80% of the time. I'm assuming on the turn. Or betting the flop, right? 16 for Bruce. 16 for Matt. 16 for Cyrus. 16 for Stanky. 16, 16, 16, 16, 16. 16, 18, close. You're in the ballpark, Ranius. All in for value or all in as a bluff out? If it's all in for value, what's worse that calls? You gotta remember to ask yourself those questions. Shum Cooley, 16. Crest 16. Sweet Ace says, dude, 24. He's going huge. J Bill says 16 and Cyrus both going 16. Yeah, I think 16 to 18. 18's fine too. Is the right answer. I think if we overbet this pot, when the queen completes, like, we just get a ton of folds, right? If this was somehow a brickier board where they could have a value target that would call the overbet, like King Jack. Does King Jack call? Ace Jack, close, super close. If you think they're gonna call, then by all means, fucking bet that shit. But I would argue that they probably start to fold. So I think going big but not overbet is the key. I would say 16. Let's see what happens.
I think we have a hand that's good enough to go for value. This is a pretty reasonable spot for us to have Ace King, even when he does blast the turn. So I definitely have some nut hands here. And I think the opponent's range is generally going to be a lot of hands like Ace Queen, which can call a bet, King Queen, which can call a bet, Ace Jack, which may call a bet, Jack 10 suited, which
I would argue two
will
pair
call
bets
a
the
bet.
river.
Sets, Jacks, 10s, 2s, 7s, those are all call a bet, right? So there are a lot of hands that are very strong that will want to call a bet here if I do make a bet. And I don't think the opponent can realistically raise me all that often here because I can just have some straights, right? So this is a situation where I definitely think we should be betting. We're trying to get called by a reasonably strong but like non-premium hand. I don't think we want to overbet because I think an overbet will start to get all the jacks to fold, and he may even fold out a hand like Ace Queen if he has it. I know he doesn't have a lot of Ace Queens in his range, but they could still have that some portion of the time. If I pot it here, like even Jack 10 may fold. Because like you have to realize this is just an atrociously bad river for the opponent, for the most part. So this is a spot where they can't really raise me all that often, and their range is going to be mostly seemingly strong hands. But if a lot of money goes in this pot, they're actually not all that strong. So I think we want to bet something like 16,000 here, and I would expect to get called a lot of the time. If he did check raise me all in, wow, that would be annoying. I guess I would fold, because if you think about my range, again, I'm going to have 9-8 suited sometimes, King 9 suited sometimes. Notice King 9 suited had a double gut shot on the turn, so it would have called, right? I'm going to have Ace King sometimes. So I think we're somewhat well protected here. I may be over folding a little bit if I fold this to a check raise, but I think 16,000 is pretty nice. And like I said, the opponent really just isn't going to raise all that often because I'm decently well protected by having straights in my range. So we go do 16,000. I don't want to go smaller. I realize a smaller bet like 8,000 may get called by ace jack and king jack a little bit more often, but I think you'd rather just get full value from the 2 pairs, sets, and
Because I already know I'm beat.
And opponent does call, and he does have that set. Notice I bet the flop. Ooh, this would have been nasty. I would have bet the flop. He probably would have raised. I mean, I would have
negative. I think
called
you had to
and
use the
not
GodsBigToe
folded.
promo code.
So he would have gotten it in pretty bad. But opting for that pot control line allowed us to play a medium strength hand when we were way behind, right? So I think you're going to find in general in tournaments, going back to the flop here, this is a spot where you definitely want to just ask, how can this spot go horribly wrong? And the way it goes horribly wrong is if we bet and get raised. And in exchange for giving up a little bit of value and giving up the chance to build a pot and protect our hand against various overcards, we're going to induce some bluffs. We can get our opponent to overvalue some worse hands like, ace 10 or whatnot. And also, we just don't go broke when we happen to run into the nuts like we did here.
Good one. Good one. Notice he didn't raise a set of deuces either, which was interesting too. All right, guys. These scores are right. So the total was 8, 3, 10, 10, 20, 31 for Cyrus, and 37 for J Bills. Don't think this deep we can fold a pocket pair to a raise. So yeah, there we go. Good stream, guys. J Bills, hit me up. Let me know how you want your money. And that's a wrap. That is a wrap. I hope you guys had a good holiday. I hope you guys have good holidays coming up. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for everything, guys. We do this every Saturday, noon 30 Eastern. So make sure you check into that. Not a lot of people playing because it's the holidays. I think I'm going to send the host over to Lime Ricky, another old school Legend of the Toe Army. And that's it, guys. Make sure you click those links. Thanks for everything. Have a good weekend. I will be back on Monday with the home game on ACR. And I'll talk to you later. Peace.